Fitness. I'm here with Coach Chino, world champion trainer Tevin Former, also Edgar Sosa. First off, thanks a lot for your time, Coach Chino.
Very welcome.
Without giving too much of the game plan away, what can we expect out of Tevin tomorrow, man? You know, he's been busy, he's been putting in that work.
Well, what you could expect from T, a lot of jabs, which is something that I'm trying to develop on him because he got a beautiful jab. Distance getting a lot better. He's learning how to feel more comfortable with his distance. Before he was giving up his distance, that's why the knockout ratio was not where it should be. He's learning how to sit on shots, all in his, snapping shoulders. So I'm actually excited. Per fight he gets better. He only has 16 amateur fights, so he's learning, in the job as we speak. So every fight for me, every time he fights, I just get more excited because there's so much more that I want the world to see how talented a man could be and how talented he actually is.
Yeah, that's definitely. You definitely just touched on that. How he's sitting down on his shots. He stopped his last opponent in Boston. That was very impressive. Can you just go in on elaborate? Like, have you been doing strength and conditioning?
No, I don't believe a lot of strength conditioning. To be honest with you,
Okay.
I'm a kind of throwback kind of coach. I learned from Oscar Suarez, who trains the likes of like Prince Nassim, Hamed, and Acelino Freitas, and he made them world champions. And he always did it without strength condition. So strength condition, I think, is something that is just more modern for people now, right?
Yeah.
I think that to an extent it could give, and maybe sometimes it could hurt you a little, depending how you balance the strength condition along with with the boxing coaching. I don't do much strength conditioning with Tevin at all. Nicholas Rosado does a little with him, but monitor. I monitor everything. I'm just teaching him how to really just put himself in the right angles. Learn how to snap his shots, his shoulder. Everything before was more like a push. Now he's snapping shots. He's learning how to control his distance, which is very really key in how he's able to extend his shots. That's why you saw the knockout with Genesis, how he was able to extend. And not only he extends his shot, now he could go around your elbows.
Yeah, perfect.
Before he
body
couldn't
shot.
because he was too close in.
Yeah, perfect placement.
So now it's just to place the shot, accordingly. But at the same time, look sharp doing it, not sloppy. Good defense, good distance, a good reaction, great speed, and he has a really good high IQ, which makes my job easier.
Definitely. Can you just also go in on his, like, Tevin Form's a slick Philly fighter. He got that Meldrick Taylor defense, man. Can you just elaborate on his defense, his natural defensive skills also?
Yeah, well, you know what? In every sport, right, you always have a superstar. But before he becomes a superstar, he needs to be coached.
Yes.
The Browns, the Jordan, the Barry Sanders. The list goes on and on. Tevin always had that natural skills defensively. So all it needed to be is just a fine tune. And that's where, I come in with Rashid Jefferson, and we work a lot of defensive drills. He implements them in sparring. Sometimes as we spar, if I don't see the kind of defense that I expect, I stop the sparring. I educate him. He visualizes what I trying to explain, and then we put it to use, and then he masters it. He's a very smart kid. Our chemistry is one of a kind. It's like, it's honestly scary. I tell everyone, I feel that when Tevin fights, it's 2 against 1, him and I against his opponent, because I don't think that no other trainer has a chemistry that young man and I have. It's more like a father to son. We call each other Pinky in the Brain. It's something. He's like, I'm the brain in camp, setting game plans, executing, through camp, and then he's the brain the day of the fight, executing the game plan to perfection. And it's just something beautiful that we have. We joke about that, a lot. So he's like Pinky the Brain. Nobody can mess with us. We got everything down packed. So I'm excited for tomorrow. We had an amazing camp again, just like when we had with Tennyson. This one is even better because he keeps growing, and and not only skill-wise, but he's growing mentally, his confidence level. I told Tevin 5 years ago. I said, look, follow my lead, and I promise you I'm going to make you a world champion.
Yeah, he's a champion.
And as he was growing, before he became a world champion, I told Tevin, I said, remember this. When you become a world champion, you're going to remind me of James Toney when he fought Michael Nunn. He came in as an opponent. He was losing the fight. You didn't. That's the difference. He said, but when James Toney became world champion, a few years from that point on, he became pound for pound the best fighter in the world.
Best fighter, in fact. That's correct.
Because the confidence level, he started to believe that he's that good.
He's
because
the best.
He knocked out Michael Nunn,
Yeah.
who was like the start. You know, I said, I will never forget that fight, you know, and that's my comparison to you. Remember that. And he's like, okay. And, you know, and now he uses that in the phrase. You know, when they ask him, he's like, you know what? No, James Toney's something that I, you know, that it's like a deja vu for me. I mean, because it brings me back to who I am today, you know, watching that fight and seeing him grow. You know, so he feels the same way. He feels that title, bro, helped him. Because listen, the reality is we all could be confident, right?
Yes.
But you could say, but do you believe it?
Yeah, you gotta believe.
Once he won that title, now he believes it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make a difference. He got me. He got Nicholas Rosado. I mean, he got Rashid Jefferson. You know, Reginald Lloyd. You know, Coach Anthony. You know, it's a coaching staff that I have that we all work together with all of the guys, not only Tevin. But at the end of the day, when you win that title, now you can say, wow, I'm a world champion. I am that good. And that's where he's at today.
Definitely. Before I let you go, Coach Chino, when can we expect Sosa back in the ring?
Sosa fights January 18th, ESPN, up at the Turning Stone Casino.
Okay.
Then I have Christopher Diaz, a.k.a. Pitufo, fights March 17th at the Garden with Jesse Magdaleno. And then Tevin Farmer fights in December, God willing, March 23rd.
Yeah, that's what he said. March is coming back.
Yeah, March 23rd, I think is the day. So we are doing good. And then hopefully get Mikey back in March.
Right here, yeah.
So you know, and the list goes on because I have a lot of prospects that I have, you know, upcoming. You know, one is 9-0, the other one's 3-0, another one is 3-0, another one is 2-0. Young prospect that are going to be hopefully named, you know, house names in the future.
Definitely.
They're all young, 20 years old, 21. I also got that number young Raymond Ford. He's number 2 in the country. He just qualified for the Olympic trials.
Okay.
So let's see what happens with him. You know, so when he goes professional, yeah, I mean, the list goes on. We got some young amateur, little Adam Zaya, Bino. You know, they young kids up in the rise, 13 years old. So, you know, the farm just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
The stable stick.
Exactly, you know, so we have something really good, man.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, what's important is it's a family structure with all the coaches, you know, and the fighters. It's something beautiful, and I love what I have because, you know, it took years to build, but we all function together. We all support. We all feed off each other, you know, and everybody works with everybody. Oh, and I just got a new heavyweight. His name is Sade. Remember that name. He's 7-0. Sam Banaka from Puerto Rico.
Okay,
6'3".
Remember that name.
Remember that name. 23 years old. Remember that name.
Yeah, young heavyweight coming.
Yep.
Once again, this is Jackal Fitness with Coach Chino. Thanks again for your time, Coach.
More than welcome.
Yep, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate you.